What's going on, guys? Dujo here, coming at you guys with a brand new video. In this video today, as you can probably tell by the title, talking about how much it costs to build my single turbo 335i N54. I'll be doing a full build breakdown for you, mainly towards converting your car to a single turbo 335i. Keep in mind, I am from Canada. Numbers are not exactly correct. At the time I'm making this video, I'm doing CAD to USD conversion. As majority of the people that watch my videos, I'd say about 60% of the people that watch my videos are from the United States. This whole video will be brought to you by USD currency. So the way I'm gonna break down this video, it's gonna be turbo setup, fueling, drivetrain, and tuning. So that's gonna be like the categories for how I'm gonna break down the cost. Keep in mind that when I started building this car 4 years ago, so the prices have changed a lot. So the price that you're gonna see is what I personally spent. A lot more cost if you guys have to pay someone to install these mods for you. Fortunately enough, I was able to install a lot of these parts with my friends and I, so there wasn't any labor cost. That is something to keep in mind if you guys are looking at doing a single turbo swap on your N54. If you don't have the access to install all these parts yourself, please add some money in there for having a shop to do it. Getting a local shop to install a turbo kit for you will probably be around $1,000 to $1,500. We're talking about putting the twin disc clutch and doing all that stuff. I don't have a knowledge of what shops will charge for that. I'm assuming probably another $1,000 to install a clutch, but I'm not entirely sure. This video today, it's gonna be strictly how much I spent on my build personally, and what all the parts cost me at the time when I purchased them, how much I spent to get to 700 wheel horsepower. If you guys are looking to make the 700 the wheels, video will show you all the costs it takes to build a 700 wheel horsepower single turbo N54. I probably have to do a lot more maintenance. Things are injectors, fuel pumps, high pressure fuel pumps, gaskets, valve cover gaskets, oil pan gaskets, maybe even the head gasket, water pumps. Keep in mind that buying a higher mileage 335i, just keep in mind that you are gonna have to spend some money on maintenance. I'm not gonna get into maintenance because there's a million videos out there. This is just strictly, you've done all the maintenance to your car, now you wanna go single turbo conversion. Turbo setup. So there's a lot of different turbo kits that you guys can go with. If you are trying to do this yourselves, you shouldn't go the On3 route. I went with the On3 route because at the time of buying the car, it was the most cost-effective kit, like I spoke about in my previous videos. Doing things yourself, if you do go with the On3 kit, it does take a lot of handiwork to get the kit to properly fit and to get the car running with this certain kit. So I'm gonna go the On3 route like I did. You're gonna be purchasing the kit. I purchased the kit, it was around $2,500 to buy the kit. Now that wasn't a full kit, so I'll mention the parts that I had to buy along with the kit. I think the kits now are going for, if you go with the 67mm option, you're gonna be around probably higher $3,000s to $4,000 mark USD to purchase the On3 kit. Still a lot more affordable than going with the Dock Race or any of those higher end kits. I was able to upgrade the turbo because I bought the cheaper kit, cheaper option, which was the 61mm journal bearing, but I was able to get my hands on a 67mm ceramic ball bearing turbo for an extra $75 USD. So you'll probably never get that deal. I was just lucky enough to get the turbo off one of my friends, and then I got it for around 75 USD. Are going with the On3 kit. I don't know if they got better now. I would still go ahead and do this mod even if they fixed it. The wastegates on these on this single turbo kit are junk. No disrespect to On3, just it doesn't work. With this turbo kit, even when I upgrade the springs, I upgrade the diaphragm and springs to a Tile MVR internal diaphragm and springs, and it still wasn't working. So I ended up just getting rid of the On3 wastegate, and I went with the Tile MVR wastegate. It cost me around $363. In order to control your boost levels, if you don't want to be on wastegate pressure all the time, you're gonna have to buy yourself a max solenoid, a 3-port max solenoid, around $52 USD. If you want to get an upgraded PCV valve, fairly cheap. You can get them from a lot of different web. Valve costs around $60 USD. This can be a video in itself talking about crankcase pressure, PCV valves, catch can systems, but just to keep this video short and sweet and just focus on the build cost and what I did specifically with my build. I went with a Racetronics dual catch can system. I was able to get a really good price on my catch can system for around $200 USD. I'm gonna go from turbo kit. Now that we covered the turbo kit, we're gonna move on to the fuel setup. To save yourself money right off the bat, it's a little bit more of an expensive option, but save yourself the hassle because if you're gonna go for 700 wheel horsepower, you need dual 450 Walbro low pressure fuel pumps. Exactly what comes with that, hob switch, wiring, fuel pumps, but if you guys want to see how to install that. A lot of these stuff I'm talking about, I already have videos on how to install on my channel, so just feel free to go through my playlist or go through my videos, and there's how-tos, how to go single turbo, install fuel pumps, port injection, all that cool stuff. That's already on my channel, so you guys can go look at some previous videos after and watch how to install that. The BMP dual 450 setup, that ended up costing me around $500. You're gonna need to run some more fueling on this car, so you're gonna have to go with a port injection kit. BMP fuel rail system that goes in between your engine and your stock intake manifold. Full kit cost me $689 USD. I am running the Eldor coils. I know there's Precision Raceworks, B58 coil swaps, but at the time, Eldor coils, lifetime warranty. I don't know if they still offer that. I went with the Eldor coils for this car. They've been running great, no misfire. Eldor coils, $198 USD. I'm gonna stop saying USD because I think you guys already know everything's in USD. So $198. If you wanna save some money, it came with 750cc port injectors with the BMP port injection kit. When I cranked up the boost to try to make 700 wheel horsepower, I needed some bigger injectors. So I upgraded to Injector Dynamics ID 1050X. Ended up costing me around $800. You probably know, everybody runs them. NGK 2-step coulter spark plugs, you need 6 of them. It costs you around $90 to $100 for 6 NGK 2-step coulter spark plugs. I did have to upgrade one of my injectors to an Index 12. Pricey, cost me around $766. Okay, let's talk about drivetrain. This is where your build is gonna get kind of pricey and it might scare you, but guys, trust me, do this mod and your car will be set for a long time. This is by far my favorite. If you're trying to yield the highest horsepower, if you do, like, some people don't like the term overbuilding. They say just build your car for what goals you have. But come on, guys, if you're a real car guy, you know you're not gonna be satisfied with a horsepower for the rest of the life of your car. You're gonna wanna crank it up and see what the capabilities of your car is. So if that's what your goal is, if you guys are gonna make 700 wheel and then wanna go down the route of trying to make more power, like you're gonna see my new build series on my channel with the new videos coming out, then I would go with the X Clutch. I went with the X Clutch Stage 5 8-inch twin disc sprung ceramic. Just a heads up, do your research, watch some of my videos with this clutch. It is a totally different driving experience. This clutch cost me $2,800. Next mod, not mandatory, actually a necessity in my opinion to make the driver experience the best with these cars, is the RTD short shift. With my car, costed around $630. Next, motor mounts and diff bushing. So I went with upgraded poly motor mounts, and I went with a solid diff bushings for my rear end. That cost me around $400. Wheels and tires. Running the NT01 street tire. These tires specifically, with the price that I was able to get them for, $160 a tire. I have 2 of them in the rear, so about $320 total for my NT01s on the rear. Are wrapped around some Autohand 17-inch rims. The 2 rims cost me $565. Now my front tires, I don't even really want to talk about, but they are on the car nonetheless. I bought some Chinese knockoff Y-Spoke 19-inch. So with the 2 tires and the rim, it's me about $325. Let's talk about tuning, the final category. Some different options you guys can do for tuning. HD was very new at the time. Just to get my car running 5 years ago, I got the JB4 piggyback set. At the time, the JB4 cost me around $379. So to do the MHD back-end flash, just to get the firmware so I can flash my car with a custom tune, cost me around $130. My custom tune cost me around $350. Okay, so let's break this down in sections and then we'll do a grand total at the very end. The turbo setup came to around $3,250. The fuel setup was $3,049. The drivetrain was $3,830. The wheel setup was $1,210, and the tuning came to $859. The total cost to build my single turbo 335i came to $12,198 to convert my 335i N54 from stock twin turbos to a 700 wheel horsepower single turbo N54. Now, don't get me wrong, there's probably a lot of ways you guys can build this car for a lot cheaper, but there's probably a lot of ways you guys can build this car a lot more expensive. Rethink if you want to buy this car now and swap it to single turbo, or it makes you think that this is a option that is viable for you guys that are interested in buying these cars, or for you guys that already own these cars and are thinking about going with the single turbo setup. This is what it's going to cost you. If you haven't watched my previous video and this is your first video back on my channel, make sure you guys go watch my previous video, because I talk about all the things that are going to be happening on my YouTube channel. So stay tuned, because I got a lot of parts coming in the mail. Some stuff has already arrived and we got some sick content coming soon. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe. I hope you enjoyed this one. It's been Dujo. I'm out. Peace.